Political Science for class 11. Today, the chapter that we are going to start is federalism. Federalism. Okay? Federalism is the term that is derived from Latin word that means fidus, and the meaning of this word is agreement. So thus this is a system based on contract or agreement. Countries like USA, Switzerland came into existence as a result of an agreement among several independent states or countries. Here when we say states, we mean countries who surrendered their sovereignty and framed their constitutions. This is the general meaning of federalism. The federalism is a group of states that have willingly made an agreement to join together and be a group of countries like United States of America. Okay, USA means the states are united, and the states of which part? The continent America. So United States of America is the example of federalism or federal system. And in general, in simple meaning or way, is federalism, it is related to the division of powers to frame rules, laws, okay, and the division of power is clearly given in the constitution. So in basic terms, federalism means the organization of a state where a compromise is worked out between concurrent demands. Concurrent here means the common demands for union and for territorial diversity within a society. So it is done by creating a single political system within which union and state governments are assigned the authority in such a manner that neither level of government is legally or politically subordinate to others. In India also we have state governments and central government. So this is example of federalism. But our federalism is different, that I am going to tell you now after some time. So its aim is to divide powers between central and regional governments or state governments in such a manner that each of them functions within its own sphere, coordinates and remains independent but in a harmonious way. Okay, the state governments, for example, and the union government, the central government, they know what are their powers and functions and limits, and they know that also we will study in the other part of the chapter, the division of power under the lists: state list, union list, concurrent list, residuary list, etc. So they know what all they can do and what all is in their area or sphere. Now we come to the evolution of federalism, especially in India. Here we should go back in 1947. So the Constituent Assembly, I have told you about the Constituent Assembly also. The Constituent Assembly, in its objectives resolution adopted on January 22nd, 1947, the same year when we got independence, that declared Assembly's firm and solemn resolve to make India an independent sovereign republic, where states shall possess and retain the status of autonomous unit. That was decided or thinking कि India will be what? An independent sovereign republic where states shall possess and retain the status of autonomous units. But the situations were critical and different. And what was also decided there in that resolution, that residuary powers, the remaining power, new type of powers which were not already divided, were also be with the states. But by July 1947, the questions of partition made the Congress party, that was a very strong and leading party that time, that made Congress to become centrist. Centrist means the power is in the central government to decide for the entire country and even for the parts of that, like the states. So it made Congress to become centrist or central power or strong center. What was the reason for this? Mainly the socio-economic development. Okay, we were exploited badly for years and years, hundreds of years, and the development was needed now when we will get independence, that is of that time. So that was the reason we were socially, economically very poor. So that was possible only when the central would be a strong center or government. So which could be possible only through centralized planning. The central government will plan for various parts of the country, various states accordingly. So the reason to create a strong center were like this. For example, during the time of partition and soon after the independence, there were critical conditions like riots, princely states, their integration, the need to remove poverty, backwardness, and food shortage, and all these made the center to be strong. And the idea of provincial autonomy was to be dropped. Okay, that was the reason. And Dr. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee, he stated that India would be federal, but not by an agreement. That will not be in true sense a federal country. Okay, not by an agreement, as so, okay, no state would have the right to secede from it. So all the states would be the firm part of the country. And he said, though the country and the people may be divided into different states for the convenience of administration, okay, there would be division of power, but the country is on integral whole. Okay, that is an integral whole, one composite country, and its people a single people living under a single imperium. Single imperium means the rule, you can say here, derived from a single source. What is the single source? Single source is the constitution, the main constitution. According to that constitution only, the rules and laws and policies will be framed either by the central government or by the state governments. Now we take India as a quasi-federal state. So quasi-federal state means which is not completely accurately a federal, and that is true in case of India. We know India is a quasi-federal state because we have states also as the part of federal system. At the same time, we have strong centers and the states depending upon the central government or union government for various resources. So that is the meaning of quasi-federal state, which is neither completely union government or unitary government nor completely federal government. That is a mixture of both of them. So that is a unique feature of our political system. So quasi-federal refers to the government organized similar to a union of states under a central government rather than the individual governments of the separate states. It is a system where the distribution of powers between the center and states is not equal. Okay, is not equal. The state governments are not having independent sovereign status. They are not fully autonomous. They are under the control of the central government. So it has more features of unitary bias. Unitary bias means we are more like a unitary government where one government is there to control the entire country. So it has more features of unitary bias with strong central machinery, and the states depend on the center for various resources like finance, okay, and permission for uh, framing the rules, or we will see in detail in other part due to the short of time. So scholars like J.P. Suda writes, though India is a federation, her constitution departs from the ideal of a true federation. And India is a federation with strong centralizing tendencies. But we can say India is a special type of federation to accommodate various types of diversities prevailing in India. Thank you.